Dear ladies and gentlemen, fellow deplorables, hope it was to hear again because the red sign button here has stopped for a while. Dear ladies and gentlemen, fellow deplorables, let's go to another topic, or two other topics, older topics, and more long-lasting than I've expected, and probably you too, Donny. The two wars, Ukraine, Russia, and Palestine, Israel. So let's start with Ukraine and Russia. I'm not really happy about the development in the way we handle it. It's okay, it's still handleable in whatever way, but we have some issues inside of it. No? So we need some minerals as well because the rare minerals, the rare metals, the rare earths is now a bit problem for us to achieve because and to get imported, mainly because China sanctioned it. Also, they have a lot of it in China, and so we may find other ways around to get them. Let's see. We will find ways, but the thing is now we shouldn't give in with the trade war with China because of this kind of rare elements. But we need to we have to continue it, and we need to find a sort of solution. I can't give you a solution for it right now. I would have to think about it, and I'm a little bit on survival right now here. So just to remind you, so I don't have the energy, I don't have the time now. And I don't have really the environment to go deeper into it. It's a rare day that I have access to a computer for a longer time. So but we can I think we can handle it. Beside of this problem, but we need to focus on. And what is a little bit in the background of your actions, as I can see, Donny, it's understandable that it is in your mind as well. And I have not now the time and the capacity to investigate about it enough to find a solution, but I think will find a solution. So, it's important not to give in to China, because when they would give in, they would use the momentum to have more demands on us and playing the winner in the game. And there is no reason to give in. The game is still starting, and their advantages are bigger in the end. And their disadvantages are bigger in the end, and so we can find a deal. It's a long-lasting process, like in the 45 term, specifically with China. But we need to. It must be shown also to China that our end game is not the destruction of China. Our end game is to find comparable coexistence that is not harming, it's benefiting both sides in the end, but doesn't attack our obligations to protect Taiwan. Our obligation the end game is a little end game in the way that we find compatible peace with each other is in the art now about the Taiwan problem, but it's not an issue right now, but what is always a background issue with China. So we have our obligation to stand with Taiwan, and that's a little bit about the how to define nation and union and such thing and corporations. So we need an agreement that the Taiwanese people decide what they want to do. It's not in favor for China right now. It's not that they have no one in China. There's a bigger part, but I'm still a minority who wants the union or reunion or whatever with China, but the bigger part don't want it, and we need to focus to that China accept it. This is a bigger problem in it, but it's also solvable. It's not actually a problem and not a big issue officially, but it's always a background issue. the tariffs, yes, we have to continue to fight for fair tariffs, also with China. And there's a huge potential. We need to make them aware that the potential of the cooperation is huge, but must be fair and can't be accepted in an unfair way like it is now in favor for China. And the rare minerals and elements, we have to find other ways to be independent from China so that they can't play this card again. But yes, we should welcome and wish that they export these minerals to us again. But we may find other options to get it from somewhere else. So now, because it's related to the Ukraine topic, I understand it fully. But the way we handle this war is not in the way I supposed to be handled, and I promoted it. And we are dragged into a lot of expenses again. So you give them for free again plenty of billions. We have a lot of debt, so giving them $500 billion more, and in a time where we need to save money, and we cut a lot of money in our budget now, and this should belong to it. We can't sponsor a war, a very expensive, long-lasting war. What it is now, and so we shouldn't give in, not to Zelensky, not to Putin. We should know what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and it should be a plan we offer and benefit for all sides. They may agree or not agree, but we should stick on it. And you go a little bit against the first plan. Now you promised again a lot of money to sponsor the military forces of Ukraine. That's not so nice. The buffer state between Ukraine and Russia would be the outcome when we would push and force them to allow a plebiscite by the people who live in this border zone what they want. There's a lot of political discussion, but there's a lot of partisanship inside of it. Russia doesn't want to give in the war because they are the bigger ones and they don't want to be the losers, so this makes them biased, so they want some territories. They won't give in without having any territory there, in what way or ever. And Ukraine is, they want more money, and they want also to live from the huge amount of sponsoring. There's plenty of corruption as well, and some of the money definitely will go to private pockets. So you have still many rich people. Zelensky is not poor neither. As a comedian, is maybe the richest comedian in the world now. And so there are bad issues on all sides, including United States with the bombing of the pipeline. We haven't sticked to real justice and real truth, what means naming every fault on every side. That would be the job of a mediator, not taking partisanship and switching from one side to another. You try to be unbiased, I have seen it, but the national interest and the minerals, etc., is a big issue. I understand it, but we shouldn't give up so much of our values for these minerals. We should find other ways to get them, and we could find. We just need to think about it. And that's important to find ways outside the involvement of the Ukraine-Russia war, outside the China dependence from these rare minerals. We need to find them, or we need to create them. Tulsi, what's from you? You are the commander of a battalion, and Lieutenant Colonel Tulsi. You lead this battalion for the Pacific region. And what's the slogan again? I don't remember it word by word. We will go the way, or we will, and when there is no way, we will make a way. That's now what we need in the way of the minerals. Maybe it could be a solution that you that you find a way it wouldn't be really now the job of your brigade. You're still the lieutenant colonel and the leader of the brigade, responsible for the Indian Pacific region, I think so, isn't it? So you have different jobs, no, don't forget it. No, I think you have it still. I hope I'm not wrong. It's not really the job of the brigade responsible for the Indian Pacific region, but the commander-in-chief could provide special instructions to give an additional extraordinary job to them outside the region, or going as a worldwide project. There is no way, so makes a way, paves the way to find the minerals, to find a way to get the rare minerals. We need it. We need it outside from the region of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, outside of China. We should welcome them when it comes, but not under the conditions they give us, and not depending on the imports from Ukraine or from China. Demands that we have other access to them. We need another access, and then we do not need to accept their conditions. That's what we have to strive for. I can't give you a solution now, but it should be a solution. There should be many places with this kind of minerals where we can get it from. Just it has not been extracted yet. No? That's what we have to think about. No? And yeah, China, we have to be strict, but we need to know what we get for it. Also in the Ukraine-Russia war, my primary proposal is still the best in my point of view, also for the national interest. No more sponsoring, but we need to push both sides to end the war and to allow the people in this disputed region to vote for what they want. The European Union, in their bias, act against Russia, and they say that it's against integrity and sovereignty of a country. But it's not 100% true. There are two sides of the coins. No? A region within Ukraine has decided to become independent, has voted for independence, and has declared independence. That's the beginning thing. So it's not automatically that we have to that we can't allow parts of a country to become independent. No. We have allowed Yugoslavia to separate in different states, to separate from the main country Serbia, as Bosnia, as Kosovo, and we have even backed this kind of independence. So it is hypocrisy when we say no. In Ukraine, the minorities in the Ukrainian country have no right to ask for independence because they come from another nationality. Yes, they do have the same rights like everywhere. So there are always different measurements right now. And the Yugoslavia war was also about that Serbia loses control about other countries, that the big Yugoslavia falls apart in different countries because of different nationalities. And we need to find a strict line how to define it. What's the international right to, when the international right to declare independence comes along and when not. But no, it's not defined yet. So it's not against common sense that we allow a part to become independent of Ukraine when they want it, no, in a plebiscite. And Ukraine has an argumentation, it's our country, so nobody has the right to declare independence. It's both arguments are valid, in fact, from an objective point of view, but the best for national interest of the United States would be that we push for it, that the population of the regions, the original population of the disputed regions, vote in a plebiscite what they want. The outcome would be probably that they want an independent Cossack country, and that would be the best for our national security, in fact. Again, I've explained it many times. I hope I don't have to go into the history again. And this is something that both countries can agree, because when we talk about the Cossack culture and the Cossack country, we talk about a culture behind it, that is deeply rooted within and respected in Russia and in Ukraine. Ukraine as a country defines itself by constitution as a Cossack country with Cossack values. And Russia has a strong cooperation with Cossacks from the beginning of the existence of Russia. Sometimes it's feuded, sometimes it's good, sometimes more or less. But in the end, there's the times where the Cossacks have had a leading role in the military forces and have made the special forces within the Russian army as the biggest part of the history of Russia. And they are now highly respected, efficient special force within the Russian military force. No? And in fact, like I said before, the fight about the independence between Russia and Ukraine is in first hand in the real a fight between Cossacks. No? And they don't want to fight with each other. And they would have, but they are forced in it because they don't have an own country. No? So some stand more on the side of Ukrainians, others stand more on the side of Russia. In Crimea, most Cossacks stand on the side of the Russians, so they declared independence with a 90% majority. The majority of the Crimean population wanted the independence and wanted to have a close cooperation with Russia. That's not what was against the people there. It was the wish of the people, the democratic wish of the people there. And it would be probably like this, that the most original inhabitants of the disputed region, where the minerals are, would like to have an independent Cossack country. This is not bad, this is good. Specifically the culture of Cossacks, one, it is a martial art culture. They have a very efficient martial art, an old martial art, a very efficient style, in fact, and they're good. The males are kind of warrior tribe, if you want so. It's a warrior culture, so they can defend. They can defend their country. Even they don't form a big official army, the most people will be very well trained and can be applied in an upcoming war easily. They know how to use a weapon, they know how to ride horses or even in wars, etc., etc. That's what they are famous for. They could defend this region if they want. And in the way they come together and find a common culture again and a common structure again, they have to deal with a faction more related to Ukraine and with a faction more related to Russia. And as a kind of family with family troubles, they may find in the end an agreement and a solution for a peaceful coexistence, what they really wish in their heart. And this Cossack country could be a buffer between both countries, and it wouldn't be no need to employ other soldiers or to send US forces to give a US guarantee and to force US to pay plenty of money to Ukraine and sponsor the whole army of Ukraine like we do in Israel. I agree we have still to do it in Israel, but I disagree that we have to open this kind of cooperation, that we sponsor the whole military force to other countries. No way. We have $36 trillion debts. And it's rising. Probably today it's $37 trillion. That's I'm not up to date, but I wouldn't be surprised when every month $1 trillion debts adds itself. And it will be added soon because we have promised $500 billion to Ukraine, isn't it, Tony? So I don't like this sponsoring. This we should have pushed for it. No? What's now very destructive is the French government and the Russian government, the British government and the French government working in biased way against Russia, and they don't want a cooperation. In fact, they want to weaken Russia. That's all what they want. And Russia doesn't want to stand as a winner in the war, etc. So we have some tense conflict now. This push from Germany, Britain and France is not good now. They are the main pushers in Europe now. Hungary would love to have a peace between Hungary, between Ukraine and Russia. No? They are much better partners for us. And so it's more about influencing the European rule and opinion. They don't want peace there. They want that Ukraine wins and Russia gets weakened and the best Putin get killed. So that's a little bit the wish of the European side. But in general, but not all European countries, that's our card to play. Uh, this is a bit of a problem of the French government and the British government, because they argue now. What's their main argument? Also, the German new government has this argument: we have to respect sovereignty, and the sovereignty must be protected. Ukraine is not a NATO country, not yet, so we don't have any obligation. One thing, we treat it like a NATO partner right now, but it is not, and so there is no obligation from our side. And you have sovereignty. Sovereignty is that's now the issue where they are hypocrites, and they should be reminded on it. On one side, they actively destroyed Yugoslavia, separated in different parts because other nationalities wanted their independence and don't want to run. There was never a pure Serbian Yugoslavia. Broz Tito, the dictator, was a kind of good dictator. He could combine the different cultures, and it was not a pure Serbian rulership. It was a mixed rulership of different nationalities. And within the government of Tito, it was not allowed to have this kind of nationality conflict. He was struck hard against it. So there were no kind of national racism, if you want to call it like this. And so it was even made up by the NATO invasion and after the death of Broz Tito, that they focused on conflicts. They sponsored the conflicts in Yugoslavia so that there were wars and the separation of the different parts of Yugoslavia. This was a useless intent because Yugoslavia has never been really involved in Cold War. It was separately, it was never Stalinist, and it was never an enemy of United States or of anyone. So they kept their own way, and they went along under Broz Tito well, and they had the opportunity of free travel. It was within the communist bloc, they were the only country where the population had the opportunity to get a passport and to travel to whatever country they want. It was very different. It was not really a paradise, no, but there was a good intention, and they could keep the peace. That's it, and that's why I reject to hate this kind of past of Yugoslavia. It's after Tito's death, it was a bit worse, and the whole wars, it was quite the opposite of the reality within the time of Tito. Criminals came then to power, etc. So European Union had the politics of yes, when in a country live different nationalities, yes, they have the right to become independent and we help them. And now they say no, they don't have the right. It's hypocrisy what they do and play. We need to remind them on this hypocrisy, and we need to blame them for hypocrisy. And then this would be a way to get to our plan to push them. And the push, the main enemy in it is not Russia, it's not Ukraine itself, because Ukraine and Russia, the war gets sponsored and fueled by Europe. No? And so when you have when we get more allies within Europe, like Hungary already is, no? And there are other countries as well, no? To find a real peace deal in our way, that there is an independent Cossack Republic as a buffer between, then we can achieve real peace, long-lasting peace, also in our national security interest. Because the Cossack Republic will be very thankful that they exist. They would be thankful until the end of their existence, whatever, that they exist, because they dream of our own country. So when we as the United States are a main force to guarantee it, they will be thankful, very thankful. And of course they will make a deal also to sell their minerals to United States. And the minerals we are interested in are in the territory what would be the independent Cossack Republic. And they deserve it. I like the Cossacks. They deserve it. It's would be a quite interesting country, and with a quite interesting culture. It's a warrior tribe, but not a dictator tribe, and not interested really in conquering big territories. They are warriors. Yes, they go to war. They know to fight. They know to kill, but no, they wouldn't conquer other regions. They even denied many times to fight for the Russians. Sometimes they said simply, no, fuck you. Sorry. So they tried to employ them, paid them well money, and so the Cossacks will now obey us because they get good money. No, they have they have a kind of independent thinking, and there are jobs they simply don't do. Yep. So that's a little bit about the Ukraine-Russia war, how we should handle it, in our national security interests. The play card is about Britain and Germany. You would have the AfD and some kind parts of the opposition, also the leftist party and the AfD from Sarah Wagenknecht and the party of AfD have the same interest in getting peace between Ukraine and Russia, and they would be interested in this deal what I have offered right now. So they could push in within Germany with demonstrations and whatever that the government makes a U-turn about it. It could be possible. They would have to think about it because of pressure from the public. Yeah? They couldn't say it's left or right wing push, because it would be left and right that pushes them to get the peace there. And Britain, they are traditional enemies of Russia. It's over centuries. No? They have sent even a killer. They are probably, with high probability, the Secret Service of Britain is main responsible for the killing of Rasputin, etc., etc. So they are enemies they have been enemies for a long time. But that's a deeper problem. Left and right Tories and Boris Johnson and the nowadays left-wing presidents, the prime minister, they are anti-Russia. I like Boris Johnson, but I don't like the anti-Russia stance in the biased way he has. But that's a more difficult path. No? We have Farage we can activate to bring a realistic peace there. It could push for demonstration, because the majority up to polls, the majority of the British population don't want to be involved in this war and want peace between Ukraine and Russia, and they don't want to be on one of the sides. So Farage could arrange many demonstrations. It would be a demonstration of the majority of the people, in fact, not really in the name of the government, not really in the name of the two leading parties, but in the name of the majority. This could bring a push. And in France, we could offer some help in other problems they have. Like they have a big problem in French Guiana with Brazilian immigrants, illegals. We could offer them to declare an invasion, and so that we push the NATO to go in and to fight the invasion in French Guiana. Macron would like the idea. And this would also change the whole immigration stance in Europe now, because then NATO would have to react, and then France, as a big part of the NATO, say yes, we declare the invasion and we want to clean French Guiana from illegals. Then NATO would have a very tough stance to say no, because Article 5 they have to interact in it. No? So when we give this kind of helping hand, what would be a big helping hand for France, then they may be interested in accepting our deal with Russia as well, because it's the best also even for Europe. It's a long-lasting peace. It's loosening the tension with Russia on the long term, on the long run. So we have other countries already on our side who would be on our side. Hungary, for sure. And so we need to see. It's a bit difficult, because there are many countries within the European Union having a history of tension with Russia, and Russia. So we need to be a mediator, and then we can handle the situation. Then now to the second biggest conflict is the Hamas war against Hamas. The new developments. it lasts longer than I've thought. No? So it should be made more efficient. You don't do it really efficient. There were good things, good parts in it. You try to eliminate Hamas. That's what I demanded, what I've asked you. That's cool, and gives them the time, gives them the effort. That's cool. But there must be a more systematic approach. No? So use more lie detectors. The modern nice lie detectors, they are quite good. And then figure out who's a member of Hamas and who not. And then the members kill the Hamas members. No? It's more than about finding a technology to get rid of the dead bodies in a hygienical way. This is what we need to think about, because there will be many, for sure, but it would be not the majority of the Palestinians. Also find a more systematic way to eliminate systematically and fast the Hamas terrorists, but separate them well from the others. So you had some protesters lately, protesting against Hamas and protesting, Palestinians protesting for the death of Hamas members. These members form a small part of Palestine, quite secure, also secured with Israeli soldiers, and allows them to rule this area by themselves, but in cooperation with Israel and military force to detect Hamas members who come in and to destroy them. And I think they are interested in this kind of cooperation, and leaves them to rule. Start with a small town and make it bigger, step by step. The more you can afford it to defend it. No? The more you fight Hamas, the more Hamas members you destroy and you kill, the easier it will be. The aim must be an independent, free Palestine, free from terrorists as well. We need to free them from terrorists, because there are Palestinians who really want them out and want them dead. That's not the minority, I can tell you. But there's a huge minority backing Hamas. They need to be killed. And it's not even the half yet killed. No? There must be more, must be killed. And use lie detectors, use other ways to find them. And when you know a Hamas member, torture him, but legalize it in the Israeli law before, and then torturing him to find more information to other Hamas members. Yep, let's just let it go, and I hope MBS and Fatah have enough patience to come to the end of it. When when the Hamas becomes a very small minority, then you can think about it, ending it. No? And killing all of them will be nearly impossible, because many have gone already to other countries. No? But the aim is that they are such a minority that they would never get in an election in whatever town in Palestine a seat in the parliament, no? Because they have not enough votes. That must be the aim. And it must be forbidden they need to be forbidden in a new Palestine as a party, and as they should be declared as a terror organization within the new Palestine. That must be the aim, and yes, but continue to work on the Abraham Accords too. Even it's now very difficult, but do some talks, and that after the end of the Gaza war, you can really make a fast deal about the Abraham Accords #2. Yep, that's my input to the two wars. And please, Fatah and MBS, have patience, because we need really to get rid of terrorists. It's in the interest of all countries. You can't say it maybe loud, because there is a lot of bias between Jews and Muslims, also in Saudi Arabia still, and in Emirates. But we need to work for a terrorist-free region. Also in Israel, Israeli who abuse their position to kill innocent Muslims need to be punished as well. They exist as well. of course, so there shouldn't be any division between it, no? But we need to continue to destroy Hamas more efficiently, faster, so that we can come soon to an end, and that we have no one to deal with. And no deals with terrorists. Terrorists should be walking dead people, hunted to be killed. See you.